To support this podcast, go to positivesarcasm.com/donate. Any amount is appreciated. Once again, positivesarcasm.com/donate. Thank you and enjoy the program. Jay here, positivesarcasm.com, recorded here from the Spare Parts Studio alongside New Hampshire's beautiful seacoast. Like, subscribe, share, donate. positivesarcasm.com/donate. Any amounts appreciated. Find me on Instagram at +_sarcasm. I'm thinking about opening up my Instagram, opening it back up to public, along with facebook.com/POS sarcasm. I'm thinking about opening that back up to the public. Now that I have a weekly routine going on, I feel more comfortable doing that now. But you can find me there at +_sarcasm. You can hit me up on my website, positivesarcasm.com. You can email me directly there. I got some Bomba socks on for the first time. They're quite nice. They feel just like regular socks, only with little honeycombs on them. You can email me directly, positivesarcasm@outlook.com. For entertainment purposes only. This is the last podcast for 2025. When I proceed to take my holiday break. And this has been a very, very successful year. It's been a very, very successful year. Really no interruptions, no disappointments. It's been a good year. It's nice. I personally enjoyed it. I mean, I definitely got a few bumps and bruises along the way, but ultimately I leave nothing to 2025 other than appreciation. So I want to get a few things out of the way, obviously, before we close up shop for this year. And I want to just do a few key things. Obviously, I want to give you some productive information that you can take into 2026. But we'll first start off with this, that one thing that always concerns me, I was actually just discussing this morning, that during the holidays are stressful for a lot of people. It doesn't have to be. Ultimately, you make a lot of your own stress. You really do. By the people that you hang out with, the budget that you create, the pace of your day, the nutrition, the food that you take in, your lifestyle overall throughout the day, the time allocated to yourself. Overall, you create your own stress. You create a lot of your own illnesses. And I find that always fascinating that somebody always shows up to the holidays, they're sick as a dog, and then they get everybody else sick, and it really just ruins the holidays for yourself. So my thought is, if you don't want to be that person, if you don't want to be sick for the holidays, scale it back. Shut it down. Why do you have to make the holidays so stressful on yourself? Why? Because you got to do 1,000 things? No, you don't. You don't have to do anything. You realize that there's so many conveniences, as I discussed last week, as far as like how to shop properly for the holiday season. Why do you have to make so much more stress on yourself? I gotta put up the lights. I gotta do this. I gotta visit the in-laws. I gotta do the First of all, the 4 Christmases thing. No, thank you. No, thank you. I'm not talking to anybody that I don't have to. There's people I want to see. There's people I have to see. The people I should, you got to really like take like a considerate, a real true look at who you seeing for the holidays and how much time are you spending there. And it's like, nah, no, thank you. 2026 is a great year to be selfish, and you should start early. You should start in 2025. Be like, I don't need to see these people. You know what? The best gift you can give somebody is your absence, and then you'll know truly whether or not they actually want you in their lives, other than just to create drama, something for them to gossip about. So honestly, scale it back so you don't get yourself sick, so you don't waste a lot of your time. I want you to be healthy going into 2026. I don't want you to start off like last year. I was sick on Christmas Eve. I got back to my apartment at 10:30 in the morning, and I went to bed at 11 o'clock that morning. I did not get out of bed until 7 a.m. the next day. I don't want to have to go through that again. It sucks. Absolutely sucks. So I'm honestly telling you, scale it back, like a lot. And a lot of what I'm talking about ultimately for the last podcast of the year is something productive. I want you to scale it back a lot for 2026. And I have some ideas of how you should do that. And this goes for everyone. I don't care if you have $2 million or $200 or no dollars. There's a lot of ways you can scale back. And I have some ideas of how to do that. And then I wanted to take a minute before we close up shop and pay tribute to one of the spare parts for the studio that has served and could continue to serve its worth going forward. But ultimately, it has done its job, and I feel it's time for it to be retired. So we'll start off, obviously, with this. Sick for the holidays is not something you want to be. You don't want to spread it, and you don't want to become sick from it. So ultimately, to lower that risk, bring it down. Lower your workload for the holidays. Take an extra hour for yourself to relax. Take some extra vitamins. Don't go to as many holiday events. Don't drink. Don't go to parties or family get-togethers that you don't have to. I mean it seriously. Be like, you know what? Been a stressful year for a lot of people. Bring it down. Prep yourself for 2026 early. That's physically. That's the one thing I can tell you about physically. Now, if you are going to go back to the gym, which a lot of people do. I'm going to get in shape this year. Gym, that is one of the most awful things. It's tragic, actually, is I see people going to the gym like the first day back in January, and the treadmills are loaded to the tits. The ellipticals, it's just people, and then I see the public classes, and there's like 60 people in the public classes, and it's just a fucking donkey show. It is just an absolute circus of stupidity, and you never see those people again. It's just dumb. You've wasted it's a free class. It's like you don't want to turn over any of these people. So ultimately, if you are going to go back to the gym, first of all, you can start early right after Christmas. But I think ultimately for scaling back, first of all, if you're going to take care of yourself, you're scaling back your probabilities for cancer and ulcers and diabetes and God knows what other things. But ultimately, if you are going to go back to the gym, don't pay for public classes. All right. If you're already part of classes or whatever, okay, that's one thing. We're talking about the person who's now going to, in January of 2026 or any year going forward, going to step back into the gym for the first time. Don't waste your time going to public classes. Don't spend your money on public classes. All right? You're going to have to find that easy. You're going back to the gym, so you're spending money on that. If you're going to be spending your money on private sessions, private, not like some meatball or some out-of-fit fuck who's going to just drag you around the gym, and you're going to do this, and this is what you're going to learn how to do this for him, and it's like, first of all, you're not scaling back financially. This may help you physically, but you're ultimately wasting your money, and you're not going to be able to stick with that. You already know how to work out. There's plenty of resources around at the gym. Focus on that. And just ultimately go to the gym and just start moving the weights around. Understand your form, how you're supposed to be doing it, and then go to the gym. Put your headphones on, get your hat down. Don't talk to anybody. Don't talk to anyone. You're not there to make conversation. You haven't earned the right to have a conversation yet when you go to the gym. Shut your mouth. Put your headphones on. Make sure shit's loud. Don't eyeball anybody. You are in your own little world. You're going to put your hoodie on. You're not going to show your body at all. First of all, you don't get the right to have a conversation when you go to the gym. If you're coming back to the gym, you don't get the right to show your body. You don't get the right to have those conversations at all. You're there simply to move the weights around. And you're not going to go hide in the treadmill either. You're not going to go hide in the elliptical. You're not going to go hide on the bicycle. We're not doing that. You're going to go move some weights around. The only time you can actually get to do some cardio, like walking cardio, stair climber, elliptical, that's at 6 o'clock in the morning. You want to do cardio? Do it in the morning. Go for a walk. Go for walks. If you're going to go for a walk, go for a walk. But if you're going to go to the gym to do cardio, you're going to do it in the morning when it actually matters. Unless you're going to do morning workout. If you're going to go do morning workout, cool. Congratulations, do that. But if you're just going to do cardio, you can either just go for a walk and burn 100 calories that way, or you do it in the morning before you go to work or before you start your day. That's it. You go to the gym in the afternoon, you go to lift weights. Okay? You go to lift weights, you go to do squats, you go to do your calisthenics, you go to do things that are going to build your muscle while burning calories as well. That's what you're going to do. You're not going to puss out. You're going to make the most of the the subscription that you're paying for, the membership to go work out. You're not going to go out on a treadmill. You can go do that at home. Okay? So don't waste your time on that. No. So like I said, here's the bullet points. Don't pay for public classes. It's a waste of your time. You're going there to move the weights. You hide your body for 6 months. Hoodie, sweatpants. Don't look like a slob. Make sure your clothes are at least presentable. Wear a hat, put your headphones on, and no making conversation. Okay? Don't be staring at the opposite sex. You haven't earned the right to even talk to them. And you're not going there to fucking play Party of Five. You're going there to work out. And you're going to focus on that for 6 months to a year. And that's all you're going to do. People want to come talk to you, fine. But keep that shit short. We're talking 60 seconds. Oh, and another thing, put your phone away. Okay? You can pause your song, replay your song, and skip your song with your earbuds, with your headphones. Okay? Pandora's cheap. It's like $6 a month, I guess. You can listen to pretty much anything you want, any type of genre you want, any type of band you want. Use that. Use that. But you're not going to look at your phone. You're not going to fuck on Facebook. One of my things that I hate the most when at the gym is people sitting, occupying a machine or a bench, and they're just sitting there, floozing through their phone. I even see fit people doing it. Stop. Put that shit in your bag. All you need is your headphones. And mute your phone. Anybody calls you, ignore them. Unless you're like some type of CFO or something, put your shit away. And just focus on that. And make sure it's a gym you can actually afford. I know there's some expensive gyms around, but ultimately, get one you can afford. Don't pay for bullshit you don't need. If anybody's coming up to you to like sell you on like a class plan or private sessions, they can fuck right off. Be like, listen, I'm paying right now to work out, not to listen to you talk to upsell me on some bullshit I don't need. And you can tell them that straight up. Be like, you're interrupting my workout. You've now just fucked up my flow. Do you have any idea how upset that makes me? They're going to back right off. Because a lot of people go to the gym to wind down, to relax, to focus, to get their mind off of other things. And the fact that somebody came up to you and goes, how do you like it here? It's like, shut the fuck up. And I'll be honest with you, a lot of people who don't like to be interrupted when they work out. I don't even like to be, I personally don't even like to be told, hey, can I jump in with you? I don't like that. For some reason, that pisses me off. If somebody tells me that, I go, sure. And then I finish, I do my last set, and I literally just grab my bag and I walk away, and I don't even talk to the person. I just grab my bag and leave. I'm like, I'm done here. And I just go move on to the next thing. Because you just interrupted me. You interrupted my thought process of what I was going to do next or what I was thinking about. And quite frankly, I'm all set. But I will make an exception. If you come up to me and you ask me to spot you, that's a safety concern, and I will 100% spot you. Spotting is important, all right? Because you don't know. Like, I saw a dude the other day. He's jacked. He's an older dude, but he's jacked. Looks like RFK. He's a jacked dude. But apparently he was having trouble getting to like 5. Apparently, so he says, getting to 5 on incline. Not a lot of weight. I don't get it. But you know what? I'm not going to knock him for it. I know I can do 10, no problem, on 135. It's easy peasy for me. But he's obviously having trouble maybe due to shoulder issues or something. So it's like, it's a safety hazard. Help that dude out. They'll be appreciative of it. So that's an interruption that you should. It's your obligation to help that person out. Okay? But only if they ask you. If they don't ask you, unless that weight is lying on their neck, don't go and help them unless they ask for help. So, those are my bullet points for if you're going back to the gym, all right? I'm serious about these ones. I'm not joking. Serious. Another thing about cutting back for 2026 is expenses. Some people are going to have to buy, unfortunately, going to have to consume large products in 2026. I'll be honest with you, people are overspending. Shit that they don't need, okay? Overspending on things that they don't need, all right? And what do you need? You need transportation, and you need appliances that work. When I say appliances, like I don't mean like a dishwasher. If you don't have a dishwasher, go without it. Or you don't have a dishwasher, good, say that. But you don't need one. You have soap and you have a sink. That's all you need. But as far as a refrigerator or, and a freezer, yeah, that makes sense. An oven, yeah, I totally get it. Stovetop, of course. Those types of things. Washer and dryer, if you have one, yeah. But I'll be honest with you. You can purchase all these things without going over $500. You don't need to go for the big expensive LG Whirlpool bubble bath fucking fizz pop bang with the electronic sensor of this, that, and the other thing. You can get all these things for sub $500. I see people spending between $800 and $1,200 for one of these items. And it's like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? You don't need to. I'm asking you to scale back for your own benefit of things that are only about to get way more expensive. Okay? So it's like, why would you, if you have go find a refrigerator for under $500. Seriously, the older refrigerators last a lot longer. You don't need all the touching the refrigerator and then all of a sudden a light comes on to show you what you have. It's like, you don't need that shit. You'd be surprised how good an older refrigerator or a more basic refrigerator can give you. All right, I know there's some aesthetics involved and things. It's like, honestly, scale back. Do your best to buy any of those heavy appliances for sub $500. $4.99, I don't care. Do that. This applies, like I said, it applies to refrigerators. It applies to ovens. Anything that you can get for sub $500. They exist. Because I know that, especially if you have a significant other in your life, female, they're going to try to talk you into that thing. I don't like it. It's ugly. Stop, please. Stop. You need to really focus on scaling back for 2026. All right? And I'm talking to the people who understand what a budget is and how it's required. People who are up 2.5 million, they're going to scale back in their own way, and that's totally fine. But I'm talking about people like, if you have to buy expenses, and you're going to be throwing this on a credit card, and you want to be able to pay it off in a month. It's not going to serve you to buy a fucking oven for $1,500. It's not going to do you any good. I don't care if you want the glass top, knock it off. Really try to, if something breaks, try to get it for $500 or less. There's plenty of stuff out there right now. There's plenty of people that are giving shit away for next to nothing that you can take advantage of. And seriously, try to take advantage of it. So your big expenses. So that's just for appliances. Honestly, if it currently works, don't go and replace it. Don't try and update it. If your dishwasher works and you are a person who has to use your dishwasher, great. If your refrigerator works, organize it. Be innovative with it. If your oven works, awesome. Just replace and you have coils, replace the coils. And the aluminum grates that are underneath it, those plates, you can replace those for next to nothing. We're talking a couple bucks each. Clean that shit. If it works, don't replace it. Use that money for other things such as investment or paying off your credit cards or a monthly car bill or something like that. All right? As far as cars go, okay, let's say you got 125,000 miles on your Honda CR-V or something like that. Well, okay, cool. You can sell that car and make thousands of dollars. If you're going to be buying another car, scale back. You don't need to be spending $20, $25, $30, $40, $50,000. You know a Toyota Tacoma, you pay for like $50,000 for these things now? You don't need that. That's a mid-sized truck. There's nothing special about it. All the new cars are basically garbage. There's tons of recalls on failing vehicles because of their engines that suck. The transmissions are made out of fucking plastic. The control arms are made out of some kind of fucking paper mache. So go with an older car that has more aluminum on it, that has more metal on it, that has a built-in reputation. Go 10 years old. You'd be surprised. You can buy a Ford Focus that's perfectly clean and everything for like $4,000, $5,000. It's got like 45,000 miles on it. If you need like a little sedan, cut back. But try to go sub 15K overall. There's plenty of cars out there sub 50,000 miles that you can buy for under $15,000. Seriously, look into it. It's part of cutting back, especially for 2026, because shit getting more expensive. But the car market has significantly pulled back in many areas. Take advantage of that. And also consider the idea, if you have the opportunity of getting two cars, one for the winter and one for the rest of the year, a car that's dedicated just through getting through the snow. If you have to put up with it, if you have to put up with the snow, just get a snow car. And then a car that's mostly for dry weather and going through the summertime that's going to stay clean. You'll be able to put less miles in that car. Try to do that if you can. That's what it's a luxury, but you can do that. But ultimately, sub 15 grand, so you have a low car payment, you can pay it off faster, and you're not looking at heavy interest costs. So try to focus on that. So no cars over $15,000 with low miles, and no appliances over $500. And honestly, if you have a car that works just fine right now that has really low miles, don't look to upgrade it just because you're feeling like getting something different. Buy a car for you that can get you from point A to point B that you can add options to. If your older car doesn't have Bluetooth or something like that, or a reverse camera, you can buy those things for like $50 now. You can deck out your older car with all kinds of the newer appliances for next to nothing. You don't literally need to buy a brand new car just because it has one extra airbag and it's got Bluetooth built into it and it's got fucking parking sensors. It's like, first of all, learn how to drive, and two, go on eBay. So as far as big expenses, you don't need to have any if you don't have to. Another thing is basically, if you're moving, a lot of people are moving. A lot of people have been moving. COVID definitely started that migration. A lot of people came out of the woodwork post-COVID as far as moving. A lot of places became way more expensive than they needed to be. So some of the rules I would apply to moving, let me grab a sip of tea. If you are considering moving, or you're planning on moving, find a place and a job that's going to at least cut your drive time in half. If you're driving 30 minutes to work, get into a position where you can drive 15 minutes to work. If you're 15 minutes from work, try 7. If you're an hour, try 30. This was going to help you with mileage, oil changes, gas money. Cut that stuff in half. Do a 40 to 60% reduction in the use of your vehicle. And then we're trying to cause a chain reaction of how to cut back properly. That's not only if you're moving. So drive time, consider cutting that in half, 40 to 60%. Gas, 40% location. So for example, California, gas prices are between $6 and $8. That is ridiculous. If you're leaving California, first of all, don't come here. And second of all, if you are moving somewhere, try to move to a place where it is the gas in general is 30-40% cheaper. First of all, anywhere you move away from the West, from the Pacific West, gas is going to be 30 to 40% cheaper. The minute you leave the state, as soon as you, boom, 30 to 40% cheaper. Imagine that, 1 gallon of gas. Do you realize from the moment that your gas light turns on to the moment you run out of gas, that's $8? Okay? A gallon of gas here is about $2.80. All right, so that's like a huge adjustment there. Imagine that over the course of a week, a month, a year, the amount of money you save right there that you can allocate towards something else. So that's as far as moving goes. Cut your drive time in half. Find a place that has gas for 30 to 40% cheaper. And as far as if you are renting, I'd say about a minimum of 30%. Trying to find a place that's 30% less. If you were renting something in California and it cost you, I don't know, $3,000, $3,500 a month. Try to find a place that start with, at the minimum, 30% reduction in rent cost. Okay? 30%. I mean just paying for the place itself. I'm not talking about electricity, talking about heat or whatever, hot water. Just a baseline 30% in living cost. And then on top of that, if you're looking to purchase a home, obviously if you're leaving California, places like that, the Pacific West, 30 to 40, try to find, 30% is if you're renting, because renting can be difficult at times. But as far as like buying a home, house here is $1 million, a house there, it's $1 million. You could find that somewhere else between $400,000 and $600,000. Try to go that route. $400,000 to $600,000. Try to find something between 40 to 60% less expensive. And you'll get a lot of that house for the money. But ultimately, you now just basically cut your drive time in half. You've cut your cost for transportation in half. You've cut your either rent or homeownership mortgage in half. You now have all these funds to do other things with. And I don't mean to splurge it all on DoorDash. I'm ultimately saying that you can use that now to like save or pay off credit cards or ultimately better your lifestyle in general. Not to go fucking blow it all on cocaine and hookers, just to better your lifestyle overall and to take the stress off of your brain that's ultimately going to make you sick for the holidays. Take that stress out of your brain of knowing that you don't have that much piling on you at the end of every month. Like, this bill's due, that bill's due. It's like, oh, man, it's been such a relief not having to. Such a relief. Less stress. Who's Rob? So try that. Try that route. So as far as cutting back, one of the other things I wanted to mention is cutting back your budget. Now, subscriptions, groceries, gas, electric, phone, retails, restaurant purchases. But cutting back, I'd say, which is going to be tough because a lot of things could get more expensive in 2026, but I would say a decent number to start is 12.5%. So 12.5% would be, let's say you have a budget, you normally spend like, I don't know, $200 a week. So $200 a week between getting gasoline, buying groceries, just in general, $200. You put it all. You ultimately spend like $200 a week, just in gas and groceries, and just literally going from point A to point B, coming home, buying vitamins, buying groceries, getting hygiene products, and then filling up your car with gas. Just for a standard weekly, try 12.5%. So the 12.5% is $25. All right. Over a course of 1 month, on a standard 4-week month, that's $100. Over the course of 1 year, that's $1,200. There you go. So say you got $1,000 credit card debt. By the end of the year, that's paid off. Before the end of the year, that's completely paid off. That's one thing you could do with it. You can invest with it. You could do car repairs with it. You could do a lot of things with it as long as you have it. So 12.5% on that. So subscriptions, if you have Hulu, HBO, all this stuff, find 12.5% in those things. What are you not using a lot of that you can find or go without? Find 12.5%. I mean, what's the cost of inflation over the last couple of years? Find 12.5% each week, and then see, and overall each month. Find a 12.5% cut in your lifestyle. If it's groceries, cut it back by 12.5%. So if you spend $80 a week in groceries, find 12.5%. If it's gasoline, find 12.5%. As far as the extra trips that you don't need to make, find a better route. Don't drive as hard. Your electric and your heat. If you have too much crap on when you leave the house or this, that, and the other thing, find 12.5% on that as well. Your phone bill. Why are people still paying $100? Please explain to me. Why is one person, still paying $100 a month for their cell phone? Why? Is it because they wanted the latest iPhone? Is it because they wanted the latest Samsung Galaxy 87 Plus because it has like a 92 megapixel camera in it? Please explain that to me. When you have things like Mint Visible and all these other NVMO carriers that are charging between $20 and $30 a month, why would you do that? Could you, for the love of God, go with one of these carriers that use the same goddamn towers as the company that's charging you $100 a month for your unlimited plan? Fucking Christ, every place that you go to has Wi-Fi at this point. Wi-Fi. So cut that back. That's not 12.5%. That's like 75%. Now, as far as your internet, if you have internet at home, can you find 12.5% there? I think you can. With fiber optic companies being more readily available, there's plenty of other options for the first 2 years of the plan. They're going to charge you a lot less. Comcast was going to charge me at between $90 and $100 a month just for shitty internet. I switched over to a fiber optic company that was already attached, and I went from that to $25. Okay, so this is a 75% reduction. I'm asking you to find 12%. That's it. 12.5%. I'm not asking for the moon. I'm asking for 1 star. Hell, I'm just asking you to leave Earth's atmosphere. And as far as like going out like retail shopping, if you're going out to, first of all, if you're going out to restaurants, cut that out. Just cut it out completely. All right. One restaurant visit will cost you between $50 and $100. Drop that down to once a month. If you do it once a week, you're spending $50 to $100. You do it once a month, you're gonna save yourself, 75%. And you can do it. And ultimately, a lot of you know you have to. You know you have to. Retail? Oh, I shop at TJ Maxx. I try to get deals there. I go to Home Goods. I try to get deals there. Yeah, but here's the thing is that $40 pair of pants that you would have saved money on if you went to this place, you got it at this place, but because it's now $20 or $15 over there, instead of buying that one pair and walking out the door, you end up buying 3, so you ended up spending 20% more at this place. Even though you got 3 pairs of pants, you saved money on it, but now you just spent. You see what I'm getting at? Ultimately, if you shop at this place that's expensive, but you can find it here, you're going to go from this place to there to find 12.5%. But if you end up going here to a secondhand store, like one of those places that, certified pre-owned, probably dyed in clothes, that's fine. Nobody's going to know because you don't have to say anything. Go and save 12.5% there. You're not going to save 12.5%. You're probably going to save like 50%. But if you go there, take a step down. Take a step down and try to go this route. We're talking 12.5% a minimum across the board. Groceries, gas, electric, retail, restaurant, moving, drive time, gasoline, electric, your rent, your home, all this stuff. Drop it down. I'm looking for 12.5% across the board. Not a grand total. 12.5% is not going to get you much, but if you go with each of these categories and find 12.5% in each of these things, you're going to end up with a significant amount of monetary relief, which equals mental relief. Try to do that. As far as going back, and like I said, going back to the gym, same thing. Don't be like, I'm going to get in shape, I'm going to do this and that. And you need to tell everybody about it. Don't tell anybody you're doing anything because they just don't help. A person is helpful. People are the worst. People are the worst. So don't broadcast anything that you're doing. Like this thing that I do here, I don't tell people about it. I don't broadcast it. I'm not a bring offend type person. I literally say in public, I'm not here to really care about that. I'm not here to discuss that. It's like, that's a thing that I do over here. I don't answer questions about it because I know most people just aren't really interested. And you know what? I'm not interested in talking about it either. Now, the tools of the trade to get to where I need to go to the finish line of how to build this thing, that's cool. Like, there's use in that. But the subject matter and just the idea that I do it, I'm all set. Thanks. Just move that aside. But the technology behind it, that's useful because ultimately, the method to this really cheap madness is what I'm most proud of. Or actually, the only thing that I'm really proud of is the fact that I was able to put this together for nothing. The furniture, nothing. The technology, next to nothing. Cut it back. Cut your life for 2026. Find a way to cut back by 12.5% through each of these categories. Try to cut your stress in your life by 12.5%. Try to cut your body fat down by 12.5%. Try to cut your lifestyle by 12.5%. Hell, some of your friends that you think you're friends with, cut them back by 12.5%. Cut some family back by 12.5%. Family and body fat. Try to cut those back by 12.5%. First of all, if you are 12.5% body fat, don't try to cut by 12.5%. Well, you could cut by 12.5%. That'll bring you to around like 10.5%, which is pretty good. But ultimately, everything in life by 12.5%, each category, I think you're going to be in a good spot. I think it's a good place to start. I don't want to spend too much time, but this is the last podcast of the year, and I take a hiatus until about early to mid-January. And I'm pretty proud of the fact that I got as far as I did this year, and obviously hoping to accomplish more, but with less. And I'm going to take my own advice too. Like, I'm asking you guys to cut down by 12.5%. I'm going to do the same thing. Like, I'm going to cut my weight. Obviously, I'm in the middle of a season where I eat more heartily, but my drinking's going to stop. Like, I'll enjoy or have a glass or something like that. That stops in early January, which it normally does, but that stops. Because the only way you're going to lose weight, proper weight, is if you quit drinking. That's one way. That's part of the process. Because otherwise, your metabolism dies for like 72 hours until your body recovers from the amount of alcohol that's in it. You have to get rid of that. You got to cleanse that shit. So the alcohol. So I'm obviously going to deal with this. Like, I don't have a drinking problem. I don't. I'm just saying in general. That's one of the things I'm going to do. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. All right? Early mid-January. Kicking alcohol aside. Early to mid-January, I'm starting my cut, which means carbohydrates. For me, I prefer not having carbohydrates, a lot of them in my diet. So I'm getting rid of those. Okay? Sugars, gone. For my weekly budget that I allocate for myself, I'm cutting 12.5%. I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to be more aggressive in that. And I'm going to cut 12.5% from my weekly budget. Now, as far as like gas and electric and phone and retail and restaurant, yeah. Restaurant, I don't really go that much anyways. Retail, I can do that. I can find 12.5% there. Electric, I could probably find 10 to 12% there. Phone, I already accomplished that. But groceries, I can definitely do that. There's just sometimes you go there and you buy cranberry juice. It's like, okay, that's $4. Yeah, well, I get it. It's a little thing, but ultimately all that shit adds up. Just stop doing it. So 12.5%, I could do that. Big expenses, let's see. I'm not buying any appliances next year. Cars over $15K, don't worry about that with me. That's no problem right there. I don't have to worry about that at all. The only thing I'm fixing next year is if it's actually broken. And I will fix it as cheaply as possible. I'm already at the gym and I don't pay for any classes. I've already moving the weights. I don't show my body off my arms, but ultimately I've been covering up because it's fucking cold. Cardio, like I said, I don't go to the gym to do cardio. So I'm living up to these things, but I will absolutely look to cut a lot of this cut, like the gym. Yeah, 12.5%. That's going to apply. Expenses, that absolutely applies. Moving, I'm not going anywhere. By the way, just want to let you know, I'm not going anywhere. My drive time, I've cut down significantly. Gas is where it is, obviously, and yeah, so. Yeah, that's already been cut down for me. So I'm proving a lot of these points. I've proven them already, like that I'm doing them. And I'm asking you to follow along. But these other things, yeah, if I can cut down 12.5%, I'm going to do that. And I'm going to start that in 2026, and I'm going to go along with you. And I could let you know if I hopefully remember, because this brain sometimes fucking farts out on me. But I'll let you know if I've actually able to cut down 12.5% successfully to some of these categories. Because if I can do it, you can. Absolutely. While maintaining health and the things that I currently have. And finally, one more thing about this studio. No, it's not going anywhere. I don't intend it to, honestly. Things continue the way they are. Yeah, I look forward to a great year inside the spare parts studio alongside New Hampshire's beautiful seacoast for entertainment purposes only. But there is one thing that I've had this laptop here. This is a 6th gen i7. That was probably made in like 2017, 2018. I got my hands on it in 2019. All right. It didn't work. Like, there was the charging port didn't work. The battery was shit. It's not a great build. It's a fast machine, but it didn't work great at all. Got some cheap fixes for it. It's been running this podcast, with the exception of a little bit of the time at the sandbox. This podcast has been run by this laptop, solely this laptop, for 6 years. And it's done a fantastic job of being a low to no cost solution for my weekly splurge of thoughts. It's done a great job. And it could continue doing it. However, I do want to make some modifications to upgrade it with another no-cost solution that was gifted to me, another spare part that I will be upgrading to. And I'm happy to say this machine has done its job. For 6 years, it's run its course. I thank it for its service. I look forward to softly retiring it. This is the last time it will be sitting here on this stand. And the other computer is, I'd say, 90% ready to go. What's the plan? To add a mixer and 2 more microphones. I think I can do it because I already have the mixer, the original mixer that started the Spare Parts Studio, and the microphones as well. So I'm curious to see if I can pull off a 3-channel setup with the new machine, because unfortunately this computer can't do that due to the amount of things that are attached to it. I unfortunately have run out of ports. So I need something with a couple more ports that ultimately I won't have to use like a hub to attach to it. I had to rig a few things, let's put it that way. But it has handled all of it with grace. It has never failed me at all. So I want to thank it for its service. And I'm going to retire it at the very end of this episode once production is complete. So it's a Dell a Dell 6th gen i7. Might even be a 5th gen i7. 16 gigs of RAM. It's hodgepodge together. The Wi-Fi on it doesn't even work. The internal NIC card's broken. I could probably replace it. But that's, like I said, I had to use an external device to get the Wi-Fi going on it. That's another port that's taken up. But it worked, and it worked very well. So I appreciate it actually working and doing what it needed to do for as long as it can. But it is finally time to put something in here to take its place. So that's it. A zero-cost upgrade. Although I am thinking about getting a little tiny flat screen. Something that I can kind of pivot towards me. But like I said, we're going to stick to this 12.5% rule, okay? In the meantime, that is it for 2025. Short and sweet. Actually, I'm over 40 minutes, so I'm basically nearing a normal podcast for this episode. I'll keep you updated. It's time for a little bit of a break. It's time for me to wind down, enjoy the rest of the holidays, light some Hanukkah candles, and get ready for Christmas. It's been fun. Been a great 2025. A lot of good things. I didn't lose anything in the process. Nothing. No tears. Chase is well. He did cost me a few grand in hospital bills, but he's fine. We're good. Everything's good. We're going into 2026 all in one piece. One big happy PS family that you can find on Instagram at @positive_sarcasm. And you can find me directly at positivesarcasm.com. Downloadable and streamable directly from my website. But if you prefer YouTube and Rumble, you can find the video version there at Positive Sarcasm Podcast. And if you just want to throw it in your car for audio, Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Podcast Addict, anywhere podcasts are downloadable and streamable. But in the meantime, for the last time for 2025, thank you for listening, watching, and subscribing. And I'll talk to y'all next year, which is going to be an interesting one to observe. But going out on a good note, recorded here from the Spare Parts Studio from the majestic New Hampshire beautiful seacoast. For entertainment purposes only. This has been a Positive Sarcasm 2025 presentation.